Hey guys, this is RolloutReviews with RolloutReviews, bringing you another Bionicle review. This time, it's something a little bit different. Maybe a little more casual. I'm in a slightly different filming setup, and I'll be taking a look at one of the 2003 roleplay weapons. This, of course, is Tahu's original Fireblade. If you didn't know, LEGO offers several roleplay options. They're available in LEGO stores and at Legoland, and they're made for themes like Castle, Chima, and Ninjago most recently. If you've ever played with any of those, you sort of know what to expect here. This is made out of a very thick foam material. Sheets of colored foam glued together to form a relatively accurate shape, all things considered. As far as the build quality goes, I think it's pretty good. It's sort of a softer foam. It's a little bit flimsy, but pretty rigid. If you hit somebody with it, it's probably not going to hurt. All the same, if you play with it too roughly, I could see it fringing around the edges, or the layers of foam starting to split. The glue might degrade there. I've taken pretty good care of mine, however, so I just don't know. What I do know is that this looks fantastic. Some of the later Bionicle roleplay weapons were a bit more stylized and radical. They were much more colorful, inaccurate, and I don't know. The line just started to spiral into insanity at a certain point after 2006 as far as the roleplay weapons go. In the early days of 2003, however, they were fairly modest and pretty accurate in shape. This is a bit stylized in its own way, of course, though. The red is a bit brighter than it should be. There's orange in the color scheme. While that's a nice addition, it is a little bit inaccurate to the piece, you could say. And then, of course, the gaps in the center of the blade have been filled in with black for integrity reasons. I think all of these changes are actually pretty good. It makes it look very bright, colorful, and striking in a good way. Now, we'll take a look at it from the bottom down. As you can see, it has a Tahu mask on the handle, the how there, which of course is a little bit inaccurate, but then again, this isn't an axle connector, so they took some liberties with the design there. I have seen a variant where the handle just has the Bionicle logo on it. I don't know anything about that though, because obviously mine doesn't have that. It does have the Bionicle logo on the blade here, however. Otherwise, it looks really, really good. It's also a fairly large weapon, honestly, compared to other roleplay weapons from other toy lines. Here it is next to a ruler, and as you can see, I mean, it's almost 2 feet long. For reference, here is the piece it's based off of. Pretty accurate. And then here is this piece compared to the arm of the wielder, the arm of Tahu. Now, of course, this is bent, but you can imagine if that's straight out, the sword would be about the same size as the arm. With that in mind, here is my arm next to the sword. From the fingertip, it comes down to about my mid-bicep. Now, I'm a pretty big, full-grown guy. I mean, I've got fairly large hands. So to a child, I can imagine this is pretty well sized, pretty proportionate, and that's nice to see. While it would be fun for a child, however, I think nowadays this is probably more for the collectors, and it's a great display piece. I prefer to mount it up on my wall next to my Bionicle shelves, and if you have the wall real estate for that, it's something I highly recommend. It complements the shelf extremely well. Unfortunately, I'd be hesitant buying this used online, unless the seller has offered some in-depth pictures of the product. It might be a little bit iffy. because even when this was first released, it didn't have any kind of packaging or card to it. It just had a price tag around the handle, so it could potentially be worn before you even bought it technically new. Like I said, buying it online in that case could be a little bit iffy. If you find it for a pretty good price and in a well-established good condition, it's definitely something I can recommend. If you're a fan of Tahu, this is of course a must-have, but if you're just a fan of Bionicle in general, I think it's worth having in your collection as well. It's certainly interesting. So, that is about it, guys, and this is IX Roll It IX, signing off.